You know, the older I get, the more I realize that not everything needs to be said. Some things are just better left unshared. I had to learn that lesson the hard way a few times over the years. I overshared, it backfired, and it caused me a lot of stress I didn't need. And honestly, I don't want you to have to go through that. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Retired Life with Reese Will. And my name is Reese. And if you're here for the first time, this is where we talk about retirement, getting there, living it, and navigating all the tricky parts to make sure your next chapter is the best one yet. Now, if you ask around, people will tell you I'm a pretty laid back guy and I tend to stay in my lane and avoid the drama. But in my 57 years, especially spending 32 of them driving those big feeder trucks for UPS, I've seen some stuff. I've seen some good situations get wrecked because someone just didn't know when to be quiet. And today, I got a list of 6 things that I think you should keep to yourself. And trust me, it's going to protect you, it's going to protect your peace of mind, and it's going to keep your relationship a lot smoother. So let's get right into it. All right, now, first things first, if you're still working and you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, keep it to yourself. You should never tell management or even a favorite coworker that you're thinking about quitting or retiring. Keep that news under wraps until you are ready to hand that official letter. Think about this. Why hand over all your leverage the second you tell someone at work, yeah, I'm tired of this. I'm thinking about another year or two and I'm out. You have just given them total power over your future. Now, look, I know how it is driving night shift, dealing with lack of sleep, the fatigue, the constant demand to perform. Those were incredibly stressful times. There were many times I wanted to vent and say, I'm done, but you have to resist. If management knows you're leaving, they might treat you differently, or worse, they might decide your departure date for you. Let's say they decide to push you out in a few months earlier than you planned for budget reasons. If you agree to leave at the end of the year, but your company pays out bonuses for the previous year in February, you might just be forfeiting that bonus. That's your money. You work for it. Don't risk it. You need to be the one controlling the timing. You get all your ducks in a row. You make your plans with your spouse. You talk to your financial guy. You make sure everything is rock solid. And only when you're 100% ready on your terms do you let them know. Now, this one is a big one. Keep your exact salary, your pension details, or what you have sitting in your savings account completely private. Talking to friends, neighbors, or your colleagues about your specific financial situation should be on a need to know basis only. And very few people need to know. Here's the reality: when two people sit down and start comparing bank accounts or salaries, rarely does it lead to a positive place. Usually, someone walks away feeling either a little arrogant, or much more likely they walk away jealous, disappointed, hurt, or judging the other person. There's just nothing good to be gained from it. If people think you have a lot, they might treat you differently or expect you to cover the bill all the time. If they think you don't have enough, they might start judging your life choices. I just keep my numbers quiet. Now, there are exceptions. Your spouse needs to know everything, and you need to be honest with your professionals that you hire to help you, your accountants, your tax attorney, your investment guy. They need to know that information to do their jobs correctly. But for everyone else, it's just not their business. Now, this one I see backfire on family people a lot. You should never overshare the serious problems or struggles of your children, your spouse, or your siblings with anyone outside that core immediate circle of trust. As a husband, a father, a son, and a brother, I understand that when someone you love is hurting and going through chaos, you hurt too. You might feel a desperate need to vent about it, maybe talk to a neighbor or a casual friend just to get the weight off your chest. But you have to be so careful. First of all, it's not your story to tell, it's theirs. Sharing their medical issues, their financial troubles, their legal problems, or even their relationship disasters violates their privacy and damages that trust. And second, that information never stays in a safe space you thought it was in. People talk. The next thing you know, your son or your daughter's private crisis is the gossip of the block. That doesn't just cause embarrassment, it causes irreparable harm to your relationship with that very person you were concerned about. If you're desperate to talk, go vent in private to your spouse, your religious leader, or maybe a licensed professional therapist. But keep that drama in house. Respect your loved one's privacy. Now, let's talk about the security for a minute. Never, ever, under any circumstances, share your passwords with anyone. I've been on a real journey over the last year or so to get much smarter about my digital life. I'll admit it. I used to be like so many other people where I had maybe one or two passwords and I reused them for everything. And that's just asking for a nightmare. Think about the danger. If you tell someone your simple passwords for your minor accounts and that same password you use for your financial accounts, or worse, your main email, you just handed them the keys to the kingdom. Your email is the most critical piece of your real estate you have. If someone has that, they can reset your password or anything you own. Even if you trust that person 100%, if their device get hacked or they just get sloppy with the piece of paper that they wrote it on, your entire life is exposed. These days, I use a high quality commercial password manager. It is an absolute game changer. It stores everything securely, generates complex passwords, and if I absolutely have to give my spouse access to something, I can do it through the software without them even knowing what the password is. It saves you from a world of trouble. This one I've seen destroy more workplace peace and even wreck careers faster than almost anything. I know, look, we've all been there. We have all worked with people who drove us crazy, colleagues who were lazy, or bosses that we generally sincerely disliked and didn't respect. That's just a part of life. But you have to resist the urge to vent about how you truly feel to anyone you work with. Don't complain about your boss to another coworker. Don't make a scene unless you are complaining exclusively to your spouse behind closed doors. Keep it all in house. Do you not think that info leaks back in the workplace? It almost always does. It can cause immense tension. It gets back to your boss, and the next thing you know, the person that controls your schedule, your promotion, and your paycheck doesn't trust you. Even venting too much about work to your kids can be risky. Think about it. Maybe you have a company function, a barbecue. Your kids end up in a conversation with your boss. A child or a teenager or even a young adult might not have the discretion you need. One slip of, yeah, my dad always saying you, and it's game over. Bosses are human too, and they aren't going to support you if they know you constantly are bad mouthing them. Keep that information incredibly tight. And last but certainly not least, number six. This is one that I learned after I retired, just by listening to an attorney friend of mine. This situation creates more family breakups than almost anything else he sees. You need to be extremely careful when you're giving anyone a power of attorney. For those who might not be sure, a power of attorney is a powerful legal document. It allows someone else, typically a family member, to execute legal documents on your behalf, make legal decisions for you, and essentially control your finances. Now, look, I get it. We are all getting older and we want to trust our families, especially our children. But giving someone that kind of power while you're still fully capable of Making your own decisions is incredibly dangerous. Trust me, my attorney friend has seen too many cases where a person trusted their son or daughter only for that child to use that power in a way that was definitely not in the parent's best interest. Is there a time you might need one? Yes, if you are incapacitated, like in a serious medical emergency where you can't speak for yourself, but short of that type of emergency, do not give someone that level of control. If you think you might need this document on file, use your own attorney. Do not use an attorney your child brings to you. You want someone with a duty to you and only you. I'm not an attorney, and this isn't legal advice, but I'm just giving you the wisdom to put this on your radar. Please protect yourself. So, there you have it. Those are 6 things that I truly believe you should keep close to your chest: work plans, finance, family drama, passwords, workplace complaints, and the power of attorney. They might seem small, but trust me, they can create some really painful, stressful, and even life altering situations if they get in the wrong people's hands. If you get value from this video, please do me a solid and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out a lot. And if you're navigating this retirement journey with me and you want more practical advice, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below if there's something that you learned the hard way to keep to yourself. I love to hear your story. And thanks so much for watching Retired Life with Reese Wheel. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I think the next video will help you out too. And remember, don't chase peace, live it.